this is a regular mask. Fits nicely, and it definitely protects other people by reducing the momentum of your breath, and that's great. But here's something that most people, I guess, aren't aware of, is it's not protecting you as much if there's any gap. Any gap around there, the air that you're breathing in is going to go through the gap instead of through the filter material. That's basic physics. Air is going to flow in the easiest possible way. The big issue is around the nose. There's a little gap there right by your nose, and the air is going to go in there instead of going through the filter. So what I'm going to show you how to do, and it'll only work with masks that have about a 1/4 inch, about maybe 4 millimeters of a gap. Any smaller than that is not going to work. I'm going to cut a little sliver of a hole right there, and you could sew that up if you want. And then I'm going to use a paper clip and put that in. Now, I have bought some masks that have some metal in them, but it typically is nicely bendable, and it's just not good enough. So what I want to do is bend this about 3/4 of the way, a little bit more than 3/4 of the way, and this is hard to bend, so you're gonna have to use some pliers. And when you first shape this, it's going to be really hard to do. But then, once it's nicely shaped, it should work great. So what you want is a paper clip. You want this as skinny as possible because it's going to have to fit into that mask. The masks that have a little bit bigger an area is going to be better to work with. You wouldn't have to make these so tight. And then, since it's not going to be terribly great having spikes on the end, what I try to do is very small roll this up. And once again, you're going to have to do it really tight. It doesn't have to be beautiful, but just has to be really small and tight, or else all of this is for nothing and it's going to be too big to fit into your mask. So it's not necessarily easy, but once you've got it, you don't have to do it again. And it is so easy to tell if your mask is filling up when you breathe out and sucking in when you let air out. When you breathe in, the whole mask should suck in, and when you breathe out, it should blow up. Otherwise, the air's just escaping through a non-filtered part of the mask. So now all I'm doing is pushing that up through the mask, and we're almost done. Now that little bit right there is catching on the end that I haven't quite curled it enough. So I'm going to pull it out a bit, and as soon as it gets through that little starting point, I could probably twist it around a bit to make it easier. And what we're going to end up with is a mask that not only protects other people, because it stops that momentum of your air coming out, pushing your air way more than 2 meters away from you, especially if you were coughing. And this is all you have to do, and you can wash these things. I probably would sew up that little edge part, the cut I made. But there we go. And now I bend it around my finger, and this is the part that's hard to do. And then at the ends, bending it out just a little bit to get a little bit of a splay at the end there as if it's the shape of your nose. And this is hard to do, okay? But what you end up with is a mask that you can put in your pocket. You roll it up, put it in your pocket. I actually put strings on the back so I can just wear it around my neck, and it fits great. I'm going to pause and show you it. So, as I said before, it fits not, if your mask is not doing that, it's not sealed. And this, I actually push quite hard here to get a good seal. But even with glasses, my glasses aren't fogging up. That's another way you can tell if your mask is pretty useless. So this mask is now protecting me and protecting other people.